So green trees are the picture of at Jukabon. This is the only place in the country where rainfall on the soil hot. Everything green all the time. High quality soil. Yeah. No, but the response has been good inside there. Excellent response.
Bossman, let's ask somebody support for this one. Right? I'll come back and we go chat. Alright, let's do it.
It's for the UNC and the rising sun.
Okay, good, okay.
What time is it, Library? What time is it? Now is the time to organize. Now is the time. That is what time it is. Now is the time to organize. Come out and meet your next and to collaborate with Mr. Victor Roberts and the pastor here in this afternoon. Come out and meet the Yellow Army. You're passing through.
Where are we going? Understand me? Where are we going?
Now meet Mr. Roberts at the
was disconnected.
Generation. You're doing it for children. You care about the children. You love the children. Forget party politics.
Not this one, the next one.
Party. For party. This is a man. You know what? We'll never get it down. We'll never get it down. But
Osman.
Thank you. Come on. Just take me in, sir.
And a simple thing as a celebration. Children, Yaman to Saba. And what? No. What a 5-year-old Yaman to Saba. You know, it's like a tool. Who is buying to Saba from? You can't get it where you want. Never to time. Another time. This is a mind that will help as much as it could. So come out and support. It's a big power of us. And we stand up of when you go to vote, they want your children, your aunties, your uncle, your nanny. Bring all three out of it out. Put on it by the rising sun. First for performance. So let us see performance. First for performance. So you cut it out. And we can do it. Then right to the family to talk to you. So I don't put it here and tell you down, son. Okay. Come out and tell you don't come right. This man is telling a little lie to you. This man is telling a little lie. And he's so much lie. And nobody here is telling everybody to know what he's doing. Right. Don't so much lie. Wicked, and now is the time to pay them out. Now is the time now that it's going to be
Yes, my friends, later when the civil are ready, the United National Congress will be having a meeting at Echo Bar.
Alright, we turn up the stairs. You live in Lavington? How many cards? Many cards.
Our friends, lovely, is one of the wealthiest constituencies in the we have all the oil and gas money board.
She goes on.
The PLA has thrown out the people of Sudan together. They have thrown out the where's all the finance? That is generated for a number of years.
I want people with card in the hand.
Condition of the road. Over the years, you look at the highway, you stop the highway. The UNC will have finished the highway, you will have a easy travel congestion. Look at the creek, the flood comes up, you have to pass with your car. And the flood water destroys your car. You have to pay space to manage the pathway.
Forget the surrounding routine. Was to kill our job. Now is the time, Robert. Now is the time. Vote for Mr. Victor Roberts. Then you go to the polls and get over.
Letting you know
Put your
what is happening here.
by Mr. Victor Roberts' name. Finally, real representation has come to us. Finally, we can say, yes, this is a man on the ground. This is a man who resides in our area for over 26 years. He ain't no fake. He's on the parole.
Vote for Mr. Roberts. A vote for the rising sun is a vote for you. Let me hear your people. Let me hear from Victor Roberts. Yes, my friend. When the PLM government fails us,
Yellow Army looking good. We take Labrador. Labrador gone, UNC. Labrador gone, UNC.
come on, Robert.
Who you voting for? Victor Roberts. Who you voting for? Victor Roberts. Who you voting for? Victor Roberts. We voted for performance. We voted for representation. We voted for the anti-promises and lies. We voted for truth. Victor Roberts. Victor Roberts. Victor Roberts. The man for library. Victor Roberts. The winner.
I vote for your committee and I fertilize you. Yes, my friend, we want to make Robert a better place. And with your help, putting Mr. Victor Roberts in Parliament, we will try ourselves to get it done. So yes, my friend, come out in your large number, vote for the rising sun. Your symbol on the election is the rising sun. Your candidate, Mr. Victor Roberts, so come out and vote for Mr. Victor Roberts. Yes, my friend, later this evening, we'll be at Echo Bar.
So let's all join together as one. We believe that the time has come. Action here when you say your hand. It's for the unity and the rising sun.
Yes, we are inviting you to meeting by the market in a short while. So come out and hear your candidate. Come out and hear your candidate just now as we go by the market. Come out and hear what Mr. Victor Roberts has to say to you. Now is the time, Labrador. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now, what time it is, Labrador? What time it is? Now is the time to vote them out. What time it is? Enough suffering. Enough suffering. Enough hardship. Enough is enough. Send a clear message to this wicked government. We're not stupid. We're not stupid no more. We just want to vote and put the X by them. We're voting for real representation. We voted for a man that will fight for. Come out and support Mr. Victor Roberts passing through your area right now. Finally, real representation has come to your area. On board Labrador. Are they tired? Are they tired of taking for food? Are they tired of nothing? Are they tired of no job? So they got job and they want to shut down job site? Are they tired? Enough is enough. I tired to my boys and them and them doing nothing. I tired to my girls and them doing nothing and have nothing. Dance, parents, daughter, son, and summer. My son in the church. Summer, why is the best time to never work at day night? Only working hard. Have nothing. Enough is enough. Out of the CNN. Enough is enough. Stand up for your community. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your children. Stand up for your grandchildren. Enough is enough. We are hosting a meeting right now at the market. We are asking you to come out. You can come out and meet with your candidates. That also come out and hear what you have to say. And you can tell us what you like. So come out right now and meet with Mr. Victor Roberts at the Yellow Army for Grace's Year Library. Now the time, library. Now the time. Find out. And also, we come back and let me and echo a prayer and tell you about some. When you request the
Hey, I like that one. I like that social. It's social walking. Yeah. It's like a Sunday breeze.
You ask, yeah?
Is on a walkabout in your community in an effort to meet with you, the people of the constituent of Rugby, and to discuss issues that is affecting us in our constituency.
Let's go, man.
It's for the USP and the right and
United National Congress, urges to work in the interest of youth, the children, communities, and by extension, general and the business for a brighter, better future. Vote Victor Roberts, the candidate for the constituent of Rugby 2020 general election. United National Congress, Dr. Anil is working in your area. And when you cast that vote for the UNC, the cast that vote for Mr. Victor Roberts is a vote for you, a vote for your community, and a best empowerment for you all. Yes, my friend, in the next hour or so, at Echo Bar, we'll be having a federal meeting.
Hold on, we're on next
Young candidate, what we have to say about this area for our community. But so far too long, my friend, this area has been happening. That way, but if you have so now is the right time. Now is the time to make a change. Vote for Mr. Roberts. Vote for UNC is a vote for you. Yes, my friend, our candidate is a man of the soil, well known in the area, who has been doing tremendous social work for all his life, making it happen for the small man. So come out, my friends, your large numbers to our meeting next hour at Echo Bar. Come out at Echo Bar next hour and get UNC. Let us welcome UNC and what we have in store.
I don't want to go up, I want to go on. No, sit to it up. Alright. Dash. Don't worry, I'm ready for all of that. Come on.
If you can't make it, just ensure you make it on election day. All of them, early in the morning, and watch for the rising sun. Cast your vote, cast your ballot for the rising sun, Mr. Victor Roberts. So come on, my friends, and listen to your candidate. Come on and let's see what we can do for your country. We will do our best in government to see about roads, lights, water, transport, and infrastructure. Help for the rising sun. Vote for Mr. Victor Roberts is a vote for me. So come on and listen to on Echo Bar and listen to Mr. Victor Roberts. Let's jump it up. Let's ride with Mr. Roberts. We want all of you all to look at the color. Vote for the rising sun. So sure when you come out and look at it, look for the symbol, the rising sun. Look for the name Mr. Victor Roberts. A vote for the UNC. A vote for Mr. Victor Roberts. A vote for the rising sun. It's a vote for you. Welcome to you.
Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone.
douglAR Politics tonight 7:29 p.m. 7:29 p.m. douglAR Politics. Someone impersonating the CMO, CPL in jeopardy because of misinformation? Or is it you now realize you do stupidness? You want to open the borders for foreigners, 250 coming from all over to play cricket, pay $1 million US for nothing, no action, no ticket sales, no investment, no ads, nothing, no revenue streams to market Trinidad and Tobago with no travel, no tourism, no products, no petrotrin? What? You make an excuse to cancel the CPL. Bring our people home. Bring our citizens home. The disrespect must stop. Citizens deserve to be home. douglAR Politics, 7:29 p.m. tonight.
douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics. Yeah, oh, douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics. Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information. Politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, cut them down like axe. Every kid and race finally got places locked to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics, yo. douglAR Politics, listen, douglAR Politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics. Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information. douglAR Politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, cut them down like axe. Every kid and race finally got places locked to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics, yo. douglAR Politics, listen, douglAR Politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics. Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information. douglAR Politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, cut them down like axe. Every kid and race finally got places locked to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics, yo. douglAR Politics, listen, douglAR Politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR Politics, this is douglAR Politics. Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information. douglAR Politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, cut them down like axe. Every kid and race finally got politics. Listen, douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics.
Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
douglAR politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen, douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics.
Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
douglAR politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen, douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics.
Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
douglAR politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen, douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics.
Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
douglAR politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen, douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics.
Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
douglAR politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out the fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen, douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yeah. Oh, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen, douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics.
Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
douglAR politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen, douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics.
Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
douglAR politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen, douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics.
Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
douglAR politics, we don't get no kicks. Trinidad and Tobago, do we have this thing out to fix? We coming with facts, got them don't like acts. Every kid and race finally got places love to the max. And when we tell them, Anil, douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics, listen, douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics, this is douglAR politics.
Anil is zero race talk, zero idiotic talk. I deal with facts and information.
What time it is? What time it is? What time it is? Now is the time for action. What time it is? What time it is? What time it is? Now is the time for action. Now is the time to cast your vote. Now is the time to start to work. Now is the time we bring your hope. Now is the time for action. Now is the time to take a stand. Cause the UNC have the plan. Put up your hand if you understand.
Now is the time to put them out. 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 Now is the time to put them out.
Now is the time.
No, no, no. The time is no, no, no.
justice. Everyone is crying out for peace, yes. None is crying out for justice. I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. Got to get it. Equal rights and justice. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Followers of Jesus, everybody wants to go up to heaven, but none of them want to die. I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. I got to get it. Equal rights and justice. I really need it. Equal rights and justice. Just give them my share. Equal rights and justice. What is due to Caesar? You better give it on to Caesar. Hey, hey, hey. And what belongs to I and I? You better give it up to I. 'Cause I don't want.
Check one, check two. Your hand good there? Check. Now we can't hear too loud, but you hear me? Nice. Well, that good. Yeah. I know. No, that good. That ain't disturbing me at all. No, sometimes when I hear my voice, it's talk.
Make way, yes. The queen is coming. 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 The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hooray. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Make way for Queen Licessa. Make way for UNC. We political leader guiding us to victory. Only snake in the valleys. Every day is above all. Vote rising on election day and extend from the balls. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hooray. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. When you're talking about royalty, you're talking about Camilla, Sweet Tea and the First Lady, Noble Prime Minister. BNM does lie. They for themselves and for their friend. Now it's time to open your eyes and get rid of them. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hooray. The queen is coming throne. The Queen is coming. The Queen is reverting to her throne. The Queen is coming, coming, coming. 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 The Queen is coming. The Queen is. The Queen is coming back for she throne. The Queen is coming. The Queen is coming back for she throne. The Queen is coming. The Queen is reverting to her throne. Hip hip, hip hip hooray, hip hip, hip hip hooray, hip hip, hip hip hooray. The Queen is coming back for she throne.
For them out, they go Martin West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, for Spain North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out.
B&M is the stalwarts of mafia, bubble and corruption. Home of them big liars, big thieves of millions of dollars. Don't trust none of them. Them is the real problem. They're doing me what they want, so they be vote of them. We not voting them for King's B&M. We not voting them for King's B&M. King Rowley, King Imbert, King Forrest, King John, living high, dictatorship style, putting tears in the poor people's eyes. We not voting them for King's B&M. We not voting them for King's B&M.
For them out, they go Martin West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, for Spain North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out.
Rowley acting like a dictator. He and Maduro moving together. They bring down Delcy Rodriguez and be citizens, oh they crying tears. They want the US to sanction we, cause more poverty. They're doing we what they want, so let me vote of them. We not voting them for King's B&M. We not voting them for King's B&M. King Rowley, King Imbert, King Forrest, King John, living high, dictatorship style, putting tears in the poor people's eyes. We not voting them for King's B&M. We not voting them for King's B&M.
For them out, they go Martin West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, for Spain North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out.
Stuart Young, minister of everything. He is the king of lying. Don't talk about the buck Imbert, bumping up big gum like an old goat.
Talk too much.
Don't talk about Al-Rawi, he lacking integrity. 23 million rent and they can't get off cent. We not voting them for King's B&M. We not voting them for King's B&M. King Rowley, King Imbert, King Forrest, King John, living high, dictatorship style, putting tears in the poor people's eyes. We not voting them for King's B&M. We not voting them for King's B&M. Well, this is your Indian political warrior, massive go sign. Take it in your liver.
For them out, they go Martin West. For them out, they go Martin East. For them out, San Fernando West. St. Anne's West, for Spain North. For them out, for them out, for them out, for them out, for them out.
The time is now, now, now. The time is now, now, now. What time it is? Now. What time it is? Now. What time it is? Now. Now is the time for action. What time it is? Now. What time it is? Now. What time it is? Now. Now is the time for action. Now is the time to cast your vote. Now is the time to start to work. Now is the time we bring your hope. Now is the time for action. Now is the time to take a stand. Cause the UNC have the plan. Put up your hand if you understand. Now is the time to put them out. Now is the time to put them out. Now is the time to put them out. Now
is coming, coming, coming. The queen is coming, coming, coming. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Make way for Queen Licessa. Make way for UNC. We political leader guiding us to victory. Only snake in the valleys. Every day is above all. Vote rising on election day and extend from the vault. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. When you're talking about royalty, you're talking about Camilla, and the first lady, noble prime minister. B&M just lie. They for themselves and for their friend. Now it's time to open your eyes and get rid of them. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. The queen is coming, coming, coming. 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 The queen is coming. The queen is coming.
Song.
The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. The queen is coming back for she throne. Make way, yes. The queen is coming, coming, coming. 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 The queen is coming. The queen is coming.
Song.
Back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Make way for Queen Licessa. Make way for UNC. We political leader guiding us to victory. Only snake in the valleys. Every day is above all. Vote rising on election day and extend from the vault. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. Hey babe, hey babe, hooray. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming.
And here we have him, the man himself, live. And we're going straight inside for douglAR Politics. How are you, sir? How was the walk?
Brother, I can't complain. I cannot complain. People in Labyrinth, they make their mind up. They had enough and they decide all and collaborate going yellow.
And tell me about the young people, because we seeing young people all across Trinidad and Tobago. I come down Labre to hear about the young people. What you're telling them, how you're inspiring them.
Whether the young people in this community, because of a lack of representation over the years, came to the community and told every individual that my plan is to work with every community to ensure that none is left behind and that to bring the necessary infrastructure, trade, and to deal with education to ensure that everybody move forward.
Don't worry, I'm not interviewing you now, Archie, study douglAR politics, boy. We have Victor Roberts. I could call him Uncle Roberts. I hear no biology unless we do a DNA test. But Uncle Victor Roberts, Archie, douglAR politics. Let we go, Labre. Let we go, Labre. Everywhere, yellow, inside. There we go.
The queen is coming. The queen
is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne. Hip hip, hip hip hooray, hip hip, hip hip hooray, hip hip, hip hip hooray. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is coming back for she throne. The queen is coming. The queen is reverting to her throne.
Listen, take some education. Listen, come on. Look back up your valleys there, B&M have to go. Just now is election, we bringing back UNC.
Anil is back to deal with the B&M. And to you on the radio, and to you watching on TV, do not adjust your dial. It is Anil you're seeing right here, live and direct, never went anywhere. Because the douglAR can talk either way. Because the douglAR can talk either way. Anil Roberts!
Good evening and welcome to douglAR Politics. We all the way down in Labre. The beauty of Labre, the oil, the pitch lake, the people, the sea, the fishing, the youth, the sport, the culture, the agriculture, the agro-processing. Labre gone yellow. And we down here with Uncle Victor Roberts, who just went walking through the whole of Labre. Support all over, because we don't know nothing about race in Labre. We know about jobs. We know about economy. We know about young people. We know about sport. We know about opportunities. We know about baby milk. We know about children life fund. And all of that is Kamala. The queen is coming back for her throne. Yes, so you can make some noise because we're going in show. All your P&M are no shame, boy, Rowley boy. Good thing I drive down here that pick up with some big fat tires, boy. If I bring my old Jaguar down there a stick, I would have never reached. If you see pothole, oh Lord, Grants Road, my goodness. Sobo I come through, the grounds look like you need a cutlass to play football. I never see nothing so. Well, you know Kamala talking, sporting, school, education, facilities, swimming pool, hockey turf, education, what behind here, stands, change, sport, young people, Labre, Victor Roberts, vote yellow come August 10th. I went the Rantra Trace, Budu Singh Road, oh Lord, tires nearly bust 4 times. P&M, these people give all your vote right through without thinking, because some of them still feel Dr. Williams alive. But not again. They know the doc dead, and they know Rowley dead come, politically dead come August 10th also. I want to say to Dr. Rowley one time, oh God, boy, have a heart now, boy. You have some men who was your security. You fire them, you remove them, you withdraw them, you change them, whatever word you want to use. Over nearly 4 years ago, they're still waiting for the gratuity. The security officers who used to protect your life, who would have put their life in front of you. Well, thank the Lord they didn't have to protect you no more. Because if I was protecting you and I dared to save you, God would have hit me a slap when I reach up there. You understand? Because you're too wicked, boy. So pay the men and them the gratuity now, Rowley. And you bawling about your money going down? I just want to say to Faris, Al Rental, Al Arawi, Al Tight Pants, you lost a next case, boy. I never see a man could lose case like you. Good thing you were working in the airport or nobody luggage would have reached. You would have lost all the case on them. You lost, and here you lost. You know, I always have respect for my garbage collectors, you know. You know my garbage collector beat Faris in court at the Privy Council and next licking. Faris Al-Rawi said that certificates of comfort given by Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the UNC, as you know, for years, Kamala Prasad Bisesa has been fighting for the rights of homeless, landless, poor people. That's what her heart is about. That's what her policy is about. This boy Paris, a la Rawi, a la Rental, a la 61, a la Tight Pants, going down the road and telling poor people the certificates of comfort of no good. It's like rubbish, you could throw it away. But you know, while he doing that, his Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, gave out 27 certificates of comfort. Them PNM don't even know what's going on. It have about 23 different PNM, 23 different government. That's why everything in a complete mess, right? Now, to the Guardian and the Express. If all you want to campaign for Rowley, just say so now. Just put a front page. We love Rowley. We love Oreo. We love a man who hates people. We love a man who does lie every morning, evening, and night time. A man who does sleep, and when he snore, he lie. We love that. Just say it. Because many groups, Muslim groups, of which there are many in Trinidad and Tobago, the Muslim community is not one autonomous unit. It's made up of many disparate groups, all successful in their own way. Many of these groups said, hey, we are supporting Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Nothing wrong with that. The Guardian come and say, all kind of headline. Big Muslim groups say they're not on that, they're independent. Yes, so what? Kamla didn't say all the Muslim groups in Trinidad and Tobago supporting her. Many of them are. And the others who say they're independent. You ever know people who independent just go to an incumbent with 27 days to go? Once they're independent, that means they go in yellow too. The CMO, oh Lord, let me reach it. I ain't reached it yes now. Rowley say, I am worthless since COVID-19. Oh God, no. I am worthless since COVID-19. We gained some more. That's so much big crowd. My voice too big. Oh God, my voice too big for that, baby. Keep that far. You stand up and hold that. I am worthless since COVID-19. Archie, you can turn up there more. Turn up there. Hold on, it's all right. We getting some live technical. Turn up there. Right. Archie, turn up there. That good. That good. We go through there. He was trying, sometimes it's distract me, you know, because I don't write things, not like Rowley. Rowley does write things and read wrong. Rowley say, I am worthless since COVID-19. Rowley, you worthless since you're born. You now know you worthless? The Prime Minister, Keith Christopher Rowley, said, bar patrons are putting us all at risk. Non-compliant bar patrons are putting us all at risk. But they have to understand, said Rowley, that the business that they engage in is a business that is calling people to violate protocols. Considering what have been doing over the last 3 months, this group is putting all of us at risk. He recalled that he was driving in Woodland. This is the Alsing now. He was driving in Woodbrook, the Alsing, at about 3 p.m. on Saturday and saw a bar at the western end of Arapita Avenue. I was appalled to see the throngs of young people in such close quarters. It was scary. Let me ask Trinidad and Tobago something. Haven't you all heard the PNM, one after the next, tell you all for the last 4 months that them is the COVID busters. Them is Superman, Superwoman, Wonder Woman, and Invisible Woman, all wrapped in one with COVID-19. They conquer it, they flatten it, they beat it, they run it. Okay. So what they scared of? What they scared of? Why are you so petrified? Why are you so scared? Why are you running and hustling? Why are you worried? If you have conquered it, if there's no community spread, if there's been no community spread for the last 3 months, what you afraid? What you studying? Why you humbugging people still? Or is it that you lie? Is it that you didn't test? Is it that you know that 3,993 tests for 1.42 million people is useless? Is it that you're not good? Is it that your tracing was not good? Is it that your kits were not good? Is it that you did not test? Is it that you did no antibody test? Is it that you don't know what you're doing? Is it that you're clueless? Is it that the Alsing is a druggist and not a pharmacologist, and he's not a doctor like what Kamala have with Dr. Fuad Khan, Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, Dr. Budu, all of them? So, you see, y'all has lied so much that you end up believing your lie, and then your comments are incongruous with what you have been telling the population. Because you cannot blame young people. As if every day we hear from young convent girl, small pen young, convent girl, they all sing, and you, Rowley Oreo, oh, COVID, we are the COVID busters. We are the best in the world. One little Oxford study that wasn't a study, that didn't study anything, said that we were number one, when we really number 168, because we had test nobody, we had do nothing. But you tell everybody morning, noon, and night. You go in the parliament, all 23 or all your MPs say, COVID, vote for Rowley. COVID, vote red. The best COVID, as if COVID started in September 2015. What happened to all that time? But furthermore, if you send that message out and then people relax, they are listening to you because they believe you. Now, people, to my people, all you should know not to believe a man that come into power on email gate. All you should know not to believe a man who tell you he didn't know what Delcy was coming to talk about face to face. You all should not believe a man who opened a border while all your car come back for a PDVSA plane and didn't know who was on the plane. You must not believe a man who did not know that there were PDVSA officials coming to meet him in the office. Astrobal, I'm now discovering, I'm just discovering Astrobal Chavez. You all want to believe a man like that? But PNM, if a husband come home every night and tell his wife, girl, money flowing, things good, the boss give me a raise, I getting bonus, I working hard, when he really lost his work. And so the wife on that information take a Saturday, call she girlfriend and go on down C3 Mall, drive all the way from Labrador to C3 Mall and start a shop. She buy Gucci purse, she buy a little shoes, buy a little weave, a little eyelash and a little MAC makeup and come home. And when the man see all the things she buy, he faint and fall down because he broken. You shouldn't lie. That's all you're doing. COVID, all you're afraid. All you're the COVID busters. Rowley, you must care about people. And I know you don't care about people, but you must try to pretend when you're talking in public. There was a lady who posted a video, and anybody who saw it, including myself, one, it must have brought a tear to your eye. Two, you must have truly felt the pain, the loneliness, the despair, the hurt, and the dejection of the lady. If you were caring, you would have also noticed and been worried that she may have even been a bit suicidal at that time. You would have worried because it looked very bad. She looked like she was in a state of depression. And Keith Christopher Rowley, on seeing that video, it's big truck passing, don't start that. All of them blow the horn, that yellow truck. Kamala sending truck, the Queen is coming to bring more work down in Labrador to fix all them road, Lord. Now listen to Keith Christopher Rowley responding to a lady, to a mother, to a grandmother, 61 years old, when she is tortured and pained and alone. This big, strong Tobagonian, well, Tobagonian don't even want, they disown he. Bullying a lady who is not doing so well. Listen to him as Prime Minister. We are managing numbers. If there are extraordinary situations, like the ones in which the lady who made a video that caused the headline in the newspaper today, if there was a way to reach out individually to that person, then we will find it. But we cannot treat her specially, or else we will be forced to treat everyone like that. Well, let me tell you something, Rowley. There's a gentleman called Mr. Vishnu Kunkun, who helps me with this douglAR Politics show along with William Archie. Vishnu Kunkun does the editing and information and the Facebook and make sure everything going. He has been locked out of this country for the last 4 months also. But when he saw that video, he was in Florida, and he went and found the lady, Miss Pantin. He and his wife went and visited her, carried some stuff for her, spent some time with her, and they had her in better spirits. You are saying that you, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, with your Gary Sobers, Stuart Smallpin Young, y'all can't find her. It will be so difficult to find her. Well, Kamala UNC, douglAR Politics with Vishnu Kunkun, we found her. Furthermore, Vishnu Kunkun contacted the State Department of the United States of America. They responded to him and put Homeland Security in charge of it, and they are monitoring the lady and taking care of her. That's what UNC do, without no Minister of National Security, without no intelligence, without no SSA, without no spy equipment, just with heart and soul and care. So you come to call a press conference to bully a lady, you clown. And it looks like once you have PNM, you have to lose all sense of propriety, all sense of manhood. Archie, get ready to put up that thing for me. Boy, to be a PNM must be a very sad thing. I am going to put up something for you now. And understand that it pains me to put it up, because it looks like to support the PNM, your character must be so low. You must not be a man. Your mother and father must not have taught you what it is to be a man. Archie, put it up. This was written and posted by the lady's son, Stephen Pantin. Now look what he put. I can't even read that. I unfortunately lost my mother 12 years ago, and I cannot believe that a son will write this. This woman, first of all, clown, you idiot. You refer to your mother as this woman, and you posting that publicly. You get dragged up by the back of your pants or what? This woman. That woman probably should have invested in prophylactics years ago, so we will not read this stupidness from you. This woman is my mother. And I can tell you, before the borders was closed, well, you don't tell us now, learn to speak and write English first. Before the borders was closed, and you attacking people with your green verb. Before the borders was closed, the government gave everyone ample time to come back home. That is not true. Many people could not come back home. They closed the borders very quickly. People who were on their way back got stuck in Barbados, 33 of them. Some got stuck in Margarita, 19 of them. Some got stuck in Suriname, 35 of them who were on their way. The plane was on the way and they got stuck. So you are attacking your mother publicly with nonsense because you're a PNM? But you are sick, son. He continued. She is the cat's mother, but you don't refer to your mother as she. If I refer to my mother as she, I get one hot slap in my douglAR face, and then she give me curry and say she love me. She choose to stay. You went to school, boy? You really went to school? She choose to stay? My goodness, you really were educated by Rowley and the PNM. You must be in the youth league of the PNM. You're so dunce. She choose to stay. Her present situation has absolutely nothing to do with Dr. Keith Rowley. So you showing Dr. Keith Rowley more respect than your mother? You referring to your mother as this woman, but Dr. Keith Rowley, you like him or? Eh? Eh? What do you? You find it cute? Dr. Keith Rowley and the government. Some people just didn't take COVID. Some people, this is the man's mother. This PNM is referring to his mother like that. And all your PNM boasting and supporting that on Facebook. When the same Vishnu Kunkun, who went to see her representing the United National Congress in the States, he was trying to come back on the 24th, 2 days, and he's a man who could move her credit card and thing. He have the ability to move fast, and he could not make it back. You are attacking your mother to defend Rowley? Boy, what is his name? Stephen N. Pantin. I sorry for you. Take down that stupidness now. Take down that Archie. I sorry for he, West. 1,000 people want to return. And Keith Christopher Rowley is making claims that he is following the science and that CPL could come and play. But the science says that the Trinis must stay away. Why? How? How does science change and adapt to the whims and fancies of Keith Christopher Rowley? But let me tell you something. Get that video ready there for me, Archie. The amount of people who are suffering out there. This was from TTT, I believe. TTT or TV6, I ain't sure. I'm going to give you all the credit after. The long video, 3 minutes and 29 seconds, of all the people who are posting, wanting to come home, begging, showing that they run out of money. You know it is, you gone outside for a little bit. You don't can't get USA because of Rowley's foreign exchange crunch. Because he shut down Petrotrain and we have no foreign exchange. Because he used out the US that Kamala left there. But ball Kamala and the UNC thief. But when she leave 12.26 billion US. It down to 7.1. But she cheap thief. So what you do? That I invent a word for you, boy. Play it and look. You ever find it? Archie, what happened to you today, boy? You come down Labre and you eat oysters. Anyway, from one clown to the next, Stuart Smallpin Young, who already made the most ridiculous statement in January about UNC paying criminals to randomly and sporadically kill innocent citizens. And he still have his walk, his superboy walk to follow Rowley wherever he go. Bus, the plane. Rowley, when Rowley don't even know where he is. Oh, boss, you was in Tobago, boss. Remember I was there? Well, you're real close, boy. I had to watch all of you. But anyway, Young Pin is now saying, a few days ago, from the Sunday Express, he's telling people, please desist. Now listen to the nonsense that these ministers of government talk. Every time they talk is a dishonest statement. Please tell me what is the evidence. If you hear any evidence that could make this statement ring true. Trinidad and Tobago nationals stuck abroad have become so desperate to return home that some have attempted to bribe staff at the ministry. Now National Security Minister Stuart Young Smallpin is warning that this will not be tolerated, and anyone attempting to bribe his or her way back to TNT will be reported to the police. Young was speaking during the Ministry of Health virtual news conference yesterday, where he revealed that ministry staff have been offered bribes. We simply don't work that way in the Ministry of National Security. In this exemption process, Young warned, if there is any mischief, please desist. I've told them to take the information of persons who are making those offers, and we will pass that information on to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. It is very irresponsible, but not surprising, for the opposition or the opposition leader to be launching an attack on this process. That's a different part. But he says people are bribing. But then he comes to say, well, if it happens, we will report it. You must not lie, boy. And if it happened already, why you didn't report it and come to the press conference and say there were 5 instances of people attempting to bribe officers of the Ministry of National Security. The 5 people have been reported to the police and the officials have given written statements, and we take this seriously. But you all just come and make up stupidness. Let me ask you this. People outside, they went up there with 2,000 US for 2 weeks. They end up staying 4 months, they broken, they borrow, they get thrown out, they had nothing, they eating one meal. Where them getting money to bribe anybody, you clown? But you so want to lie. Show us the information. Your Minister of National Security is talk without any information. Give me the information on how you assess the bids for the ferries that came to you. Give me that information. Give me the information on how your brother, since you swaying, start to win tender after tender after tender. He start to bat like Brian Lara. He made $3.62 billion. Show us that now. Show us each and every tender. Show us how good your brother is. And maybe we should replace him with you with him. Because he's the smart one. Because if he get $3.6 billion in 4 years, he should be prime minister. He brighter than Rowley, he brighter than everybody. And then from one accuser to the next, here the next clown. And this is why Small Pin is Rowley's Gary Sobers. Remember they met in Email Gate. So both of them lie together and one defend the other and they hug up each other and say, lie boy. Yes boy, let me go and take a drink. Oh God, you lie good today. And you catch Kamala and them. Oh God boy, come let me go. Hey, you look we lie, you know. Oh God, let me bring the rum now. That is two of them. From Email Gate to now. Them is friend. Them is bosom buddies. He's the Gary Sobers of Rowley. That is not an honor, and poor Gary Sobers, I humbly apologize on behalf of a sport-loving fraternity down here in Labrie to the Honorable Sir Garfield Sobers for any reference that was ever made in relation to his greatness and the stupidity, the abject dotishness of Stuart Smallpin Young. On behalf of the entire sensible population of Trinidad and Tobago, Sir Garfield Sobers, I apologize. Listen to the next clown in a big red jersey, right? Rowley now. Rowley accuses UNC of buying votes for $300. Now let's think about that for a moment. Now if the UNC is buying votes, that means those are people who not already voting for the UNC. Which is nearly everybody. If you come down Labrie, I just see the candidate dog walking down the road there for PNM. I didn't even know it. I thought it's just a man had on a jersey from last election. He walking by himself. And Victor Roberts coming down the road. We have to be careful about social separation and spacing and have masks and things. The whole of Labrie want to join Victor Roberts. And Mr. PNM walking by himself. Not even with a mango. Nobody ain't giving a boy look a little mango to, you know, give you some energy as you walk. But we need. So Rowley is saying that his supporters, people who support him, people who want to vote for the Red Army, the PNM, that they will give up that vote for 300. Well, Rowley, they really supported you because they have nothing to support. But here Rowley boasted that no one in his government was running from the police. Yeah, they're not running. They done catch Marlene, Zephyrin, all of them. They don't want to run no more. They done up and down the stairs. They done was in clink. Rowley also said, tonight I can stand on this platform and tell you without fear of contradiction, there is nobody in my government who is running from the police. Well, that because all your PNM police, so the police not investigating bid rigging, they're not investigating pum-pum grabbing, they're not investigating cash moving and statutory declaration signing that was false. They're not investigating that. They're not investigating Delcy. The international people, the Yankees, not investigating PDVSA, Trafigura, Rowley, Smallpin, and Newman George. You sure about that, Rowley? You sure? Well, them is not police, Them is FBI, Treasury Department, OFAC, Interpol. All right, so you might be right. You mightn't describe those as police. Those are institutions, agencies. So Rowley said, your vote is worth more than 300. And it's insulting you and your intelligence and your children. Future is at risk at the hand of any such person. Well, who is the person buying votes for 300, Rowley? And where exactly the UNC get all this 300? Did they get it from NCB Global Finance, 3.62 billion? Did they get it from Faris Al Rawi, Ala Rental, Ala Taipan, 61 million? Did they get it from Franklin Can, 7 million? Rowley also said that not one in his cabinet and no one in his government had used their position to further the interests of themselves and their family. And he said it like he mean it, you know. Well, if I would only look away, I might have believed him. So Faris didn't rent his own building. So that 61 million that he get in his pocket did not benefit Faris, a la tight pants. So Stuart Young, small pin, brother Angus Young, who was at zero government work before September 7, 2015, and who is now a CEO with bonus packages and so on, and get 3.62 billion work from your government, he a benefit. Franklin Khan, who rent his own wife building in Faizabad for a court in the cabinet at $7 million, that didn't benefit Franklin Khan. Very interesting. Prime Minister Keith Christopher Rowley said, I had to call election. Let me read what he said there. He said if he did not call the election, detractors would have said he had disenfranchised the country and election should be held. Now let's follow this very carefully. Because on 5 occasions over the last 3 months, Keith Christopher Rowley has said, and I quote, elections will be called when constitutionally due and not before. Elections are constitutionally due 90 days after the original date of the election 5 years before. So that would put it somewhere in December. So Rowley had until December to call an election. But now he is saying that he called the election because detractors would have said he's disenfranchising citizens and taking away their vote. How can you disenfranchise citizens when the time may come to vote yet? Rowley, you see, you talk so much stupidity you do is confuse yourself. If you still have till December, a detractor cannot say that you're disenfranchising voters until January. So you call an election August 10. So we had to find out the real reason. But I know, it's not because we're afraid of anybody. We ain't afraid of anybody. It's not because we're afraid of anybody. That way say, who you afraid? Anybody say you afraid of anybody? Mr. Big Bad Wolf? Mr. Bully Ladies? Eh? We taking a break from Labry. I'm going to drink some Labry water. And we coming right back to deal with Mr. Klongman trying to get out of the CPL. You realize you do shipping this, Rowley? You realize you didn't think it through? You realize you made a faux pas? Or in the words of the great PNM minister, a fox pass. We coming back.
Bring
welcome back. Yes, you can bring the water, my dear. It's all right. Thank you very much. And we're right here at Point Door Junction. Point Door, make some noise. Point Door, Robert. We going UNC. Kamala is coming back. The Queen is coming back. Now, I already showed you all in great detail, and I will just summarize, that Keith Christopher Rowley is so clueless as a Prime Minister, it's not even funny. It's embarrassing. He had Shamfa Kujo announce in the midst of this pandemic, where citizens are crying and begging to come home, that he paid 1 million US, 6.8 million TT, or if you get it on the black market that he creating from his foreign exchange crunch, 7.5 million TT. 7.5 million TT to play some cricket game, to bring 250 people from all around the globe, open the borders, let them into the Hilton to play cricket. They have no revenue stream, no ticket sales, no beer, no food, no nuts, no doubles, no roti, no bayan, no choka, no nothing, no drinks, no advertisement, nothing to sell. We beaming across the world, we have nothing to sell. The tourism sector globally will be thwarted for the next year and a half. So there is no use in advertising for sand, sea and sun and so on. Tourism, planes will not come back, flights would not be there. So what you're marketing? We have no refinery, we have no products to sell, we have no agro-processing, we have no agricultural products to sell. Rowley has crushed everything in the economy. So why are you spending 1 million US to play cricket for when people cannot come in? And then he said, well, the CPL is going to pay. The CPL will pay for Hilton. Well, if you give them $7 million and they take some of the $7 million to pay your hotel bill, them really pay the bill or you pay the bill? Or the taxpayer pay the bill? What sort of mathematics is that, Rowley? And then some people trying to tell me, well, we will get a share of the TV rights. The government of Trinidad and Tobago will not get 1 red cent of TV rights money. The TV rights money and the TV rights belong wholly and solely to the CPL, the 5 clowns who own it. When they sell it, they will keep their money. The government will even know how much they sell it for because they don't even have to tell them. Rowley, they told Rowley that they're making losses. And Rowley say, y'all making losses? Here, look, $1 million US. I love losses. That is why August 10th, you will lose, boy. Play Rowley now. He went on to talk again. Let me hear Rowley again yesterday now. Rowley, come in.
How much revenue do you expect that CPL will generate for Trinidad and Tobago?
Numbers that economists pull up, but it's a positive number. In terms of profit, the CPL principles speak in terms of not making losses, but keeping the tournament alive. And thirdly, it will bring opportunities for those who are directly involved, but more so, it's a restart of an engine.
Would you believe that after the cabinet agreed to the terms and conditions under which the CPL would be allowed, the Minister of Sport spelled it out, I myself spelled it out, the CMO spoke about the involvement of the Ministry of Health. Would you believe that some person here in Trinidad and Tobago appears to have impersonated the CMO's office and have sent to the CPL contrary information, causing this whole matter to now be questioned as to whether or not the CPL would be held in Trinidad and Tobago? Because information purporting to come from the CPO has been fed by certain persons to the CPL subsequent to the government's position, which now caused the Minister of Sport to be talking to the CPL to confirm what the government's position was vis-a-vis information provided purportedly from the office of the CPO. There are people in this country, CMO, there are people in this country who are prepared to undermine the national effort so that the country will fail, so that they may succeed in their ambitions and their agenda.
I maintain that I have confidence in the vast majority of people in this country as being decent, right-thinking citizens who understand reason and understand that in all things that we do, we are all in this together.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I laugh, let me be serious for a moment, because that is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Whether I vote for he or not, he is. So before I laugh, that gentleman just said that somebody purporting to be the CMO contacted CPL and gave them information that caused CPL to panic and want to pull out. That is so ridiculous on so many levels. Let me start by level number one. How did they purport to be the CMO? They got his letterhead, they forged his signature, they got by his secretary, they sent it from his email. How did that actually happen? Did they dress up like him in a mask and go to them and say, I am Parashram, and we telling you about different protocols? What exactly and how exactly did any individual go to the CPL and confuse them? Then these CPL fellas are not very bright, first and foremost. Secondly, this deal is so sweet for the CPL that whatever you tell them to do with COVID, if you tell them stand on their head and put the ball, the cork ball with the ball head, they will do that because they found a bubbly in you. They are getting $1 million US, 7 million TT to play their cricket games while they can sell the TV rights to the entire CARICOM, the entire US cricket market, which is not that big, the entire European, England cricket market, Australia, South Africa, and India. They could sell the TV rights for that competition for millions of US that you don't even know. And you get not 1 cent out of that TV rights. But you so stupid, you pay men to come and play cricket in your country where your government pay $1.2 billion for a cricket stadium. They are happy that they have found somebody so dunce. It's like if your car worth $6,000 and you find a dodo head who win the lotto and he willing to pay $600,000 for your $6,000 car. That's what they think about you. So no little change in COVID response, and we have to play a shield, and we have to put a thing, and we have to do so, and we have to wash our face, and we have to bounce elbow. It's going to stop them from running away from a sweetheart deal of a bully like you. What are you talking about? And you are buffing us about the national interest? How is CPL in the national interest? We are losing money. We are paying clowns to play cricket, and we have not one thing to benefit. Not 1 cent. We are losing money to watch cricket. The only people who will benefit is CNC3 and GML, who are writing articles and editorials today telling us to unite to defeat COVID. Defeat COVID together, UNC and PNM, because COVID had the Guardian. Now, Guardian, you see why you all are so dishonest? Why didn't you disclose the fact that the only people who are going to make money from CPL is Guardian Media Limited? Because we go watch it on TV and local companies will buy ads on CNC3. And you go get Carib ad, Stag ad, White Oak ad, Brian Lara ad, all kind of ad you go get. So y'all will make money. Why didn't y'all declare that before writing your opinion and telling us that CPL is so good? It's good for you, but it's not good for all the people who are left outside, the 4,000 citizens who cannot come in, who are not being let in. But Rowley is saying that the COVID is ravaging them, but it's not ravaging the CPL people. Right? So you go open the border for them. He says that we are against the national interest. Here the Guardian. striking the right balance between protecting its population from the pandemic and maintaining economic activity has proven to be much more complex than the country's public health professionals had envisaged. 10,000 people trapped outside the country is being so carefully managed. Guardian, if you want to do a PR piece for Rowley, at least say all you like Rowley, all you support Rowley. You hear what they say? This is an editorial Guardian, page 12, you know. On Tuesday, July 14th. Hear it. That is why the exercise of accommodating the estimated 10,000 people trapped outside the country is being so carefully managed. Who said it's being carefully managed? If we've had no exposure for the last 3.5 months, no community spread, y'all flatten the curve, y'all testing everybody so well, y'all knew that bars were bad and you had to shut them down 2 hours because you tested all the patrons outside who were gathering. You tested them and about 12 of them tested. Oh no, they didn't. You didn't test nobody. So you went on science. What kind of science all they do? All they doing science of crystal ball? You always lie so much you don't even know what you say one day to the next. The Guardian continued. We don't want COVID-19 to become a political football because the pandemic is too grave an issue to be subject of misinformation or exploitation of any kind. For the last 4 months, every time the Alsing open his mouth, every time Rowley open his mouth, every time Smallpin, Al-Rawi, any PNM open their mouth, it's untruths. Y'all know that we are the worst in testing in the whole world. And if you don't test, you don't know. And if you don't test, your numbers stay low. Y'all know that? But y'all promoting that and telling us that it's great. Well, if it is great, why is it grave? Why is it scary? Why we have conquered it? There is nothing here. The borders are closed. It can't fly in on a Kobo. So Guardian, give me a chance now. Right? And Dr. Keith Rowley, at some point in time, you have to realize that when you speak to the media or you stand up or post cabinet, you're supposed to have some sort of dignity. I mean, oh Lord, that somebody mimicked the CMO and nearly put CPL at risk. Who wants to put CPL at risk? The CPL? The people will do anything to continue to earn money from you. Without you, there would have been no CPL. No other country wanted it. No other Caribbean territory wanted to pay $1 million US for that stupidness. They found a bubbly and it is you. So now what you could do, get ready with the video, Archie, is look at this. Look at these people, these human beings who want to come home to their country, who want to come home to the rock where they were born, and you are denying them, thank you, their rights as citizens. You are denying them, abusing them, attacking them, disrespecting them. But August 10th, they will get you back. They will show you what disrespecters do. They will show you where you will go on August 11th. Back to your house where you're buying tile and window from by WC in Chaguanas. Play the video.
When Joanne Panson went up to Miami earlier this year to help care for her grandchildren, she never imagined she wouldn't be able to come home.
Mentally, it has taken a toll with me. We need compassion. We need a government to understand that it's not easy being in another person's country. And I'm not a refugee. I am a proud Trinidadian.
Panton is one of nearly 160 Trinbagonians in the U.S. who want the TNT government to consider group applications to reopen the border for them. The first group of 106 applied to Minister Stuart Young on Thursday, and they were denied hours later.
It's official. This year's Hero Caribbean Premier League T20 tournament will be staged in its entirety in Trinidad and Tobago.
The sports minister couldn't hide her delight in breaking news.
We have negotiated and agreed with CPL on having CPL bring the players in. When they come in, they will quarantine at the Hilton Hotel.
They're not being told, okay, this is the timeline for how things are being done. We're being told shelter in place. Shelter in place is a lovely statement if you were sitting in your home country, but for many people, such as the 15 homeless people here in New York City, shelter in place is a difficult statement to hear from your owner.
No, my mother passed this morning at approximately 12:38. And I am here pleading with the Minister of National Security, please. I'm pleading with Mr. Rowley, the Prime Minister, whoever is in authority, to please allow me an exemption to come home, please, so that I could at least bury my mother. I am the eldest out of 5.
This voice note is in regards to the nationals outside of Trinidad, and the fact that I think I've kind of been pushed over the edge of my wit's end, I would say, after reading this article that Trinidad is hosting CPL for 2 reasons. One, because it's not necessarily the fact that they're hosting CPL. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. What actually had me on the edge was the fact that they called elections for the 10th of August, and in the same breath they said, but that's not a reason why we should open the borders to nationals. So essentially what they're saying is, yeah, your vote doesn't count.
And that man who has no heart, let me tell you something. Seriously, how can you listen to stories like that? And those are just a few. How can you think for a moment? And for all of y'all who are talking nonsense about if they're out there, they go bring COVID and kill me. What abject nonsense. Do you all understand quarantine? Do you understand management? Do you understand protocols? Do you understand separation? Do you understand that once that's managed, there's no risk to the community whatsoever? And that if you cannot handle that out of all the global governments, we have the biggest bunch of dunce in the world, if you all accept that position? Because every country in the world has repatriated their citizens and put them into quarantine safely, and there's been no extra spread from people coming home. So if you are saying that they are so great and they are so competent, and yet they cannot handle a simple managerial task like that, and you all would like them to handle the economy which had crashed before COVID and is now devastated during COVID and getting worse after COVID, while Barbados Prime Minister comes up with the innovative idea to invite the world to come to Barbados to work from home, to work online, because that's the new order. And she's giving them 1-year basic work permits, providing them with internet access and so on. They will pay rent, or they will pay hotel, or they will buy food and so on, and generate money for her economy. Her airport is open back with such systems that show intelligence, and we are left here with this dunce, and all they're telling me, cricket, cricket, cricket. I love cricket more than all earlier, but I love human beings more than that. And you have to put yourself in the position of those people. Think about if you were outside there, away from your mother, your father, your wife, your children, your grandchildren, whatever, everybody just suffering. And all they could do is sit down and attack people who are in pain. And you all say vote for them. Politicians, at least, they say plenty things about politicians. But you're supposed to at least like people. They Them don't even like human beings. And plenty of you all want to cuss Anil and say you're voting. Well, vote for that. Good for you. Vote for people who hate you, people who don't care about you, who only study in their friend and their family and 3.62 billion and 61 million, 7 million and $1 million US apartment and procurement without procurement. You all go ahead. But the rest of we go in Kamala because Kamala create children life fun, sports, jobs, caring, baby milk grant, laptops. That man take your laptop and all you clap. Imagine that. If you have 3 children who would have been SCA age, so 3 children between 8 and 13, that man tax you at least $18,000 by taking away a laptop because you had to go and buy 3 laptops that Kamala was giving you for the family to help us move into the digital age to create high-paying, innovative jobs. That man come and take your laptop. He children and he grandchildren have laptop. But he take all your own. Take poor people own. And some all you, here boy, take my laptop. Take it, boy. The douglAR confused. But listen to Rowley, eh? Hear Rowley and listen very good. Rowley when asked when they opened the Bagatelle Community Center about the CPL and thing. Hear what he said about the revenue. There are numbers that economists have pulled up. Rowley, I dare you to show me one number from one economist that you pulled up to make that decision. Because if one economist could tell me that paying $6 million US for nothing, from nothing to get nothing is nothing, and that is something, I want to send that economist straight to St. Anne's on a free ticket for a 1-year stay with Blue Tablet. But you're such a dishonest clown. Show me one economist who looked at the CPL proposal, the CPL contract for $1 million US to play 36 games in an empty stadium, stay in a Hilton hotel with no marketing value whatsoever for Trinidad and Tobago, because the tourism industry, and I will read here, for the next 3 years is going to be flat globally. I'm going to read for you from a report in the Business Guardian, page 15, Tuesday, July 14, 2020. IDB report. The region will suffer unprecedented tourism shock, but you spend $1 million US to market tourism. The brilliance is just baffling, boy. You're bamboozling me with brilliance, boy, Rowley. Latin America and the Caribbean will suffer an unprecedented economic shock from a sharp downturn in tourism, according to a paper by the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB. The report titled Extreme Outlier, the pandemic's unprecedented shock to tourism in Latin America and the Caribbean, launched a new global tourism dependency index for countries, including 35 Latin American and Caribbean economies, and was written by IDB researcher Maria Alejandra Zegara and IDB economics advisor for the Caribbean Department, Henry Mooney. Moreover, continued to note the governments could provide focused and tailored support to preserve productive assets, help replace lost incomes for individuals engaged in the sector, and use the interim period to prepare the ground for resumption of activity under uncertain circumstances. What they are saying from intelligent people who did economic studies and surveys, that tourism will be flat. So what you should do now is not market and invest and waste money because people cannot come and will not come. What you should do is improve your infrastructure, improve your plant, improve your hotels and your access and so on in the interim. Also take care of your hotel employees who are out of a job. Put a social net to get them some money and take care of their families. Do that. Be in a holding pattern, ready for in a year or two time for tourism to take off. Who the hell advertises something now for 2 years? So, okay, let me go. Archie, you have an ad? I want to advertise Marshall Monday. He changing to Monk Monday into Tuesday in 2022. Run the ad. Oh, you don't have it? Oh, we don't advertise 2 years in advance. Oh, sorry. You normally keep advertisement really active within a short space of time. So if you want to advertise something, you should expect immediate results or spanning short term, about 4 months, maybe 5 months, not 3 years. That's the IDB. They continued. The research indicated that none of those historic precedents came close. They compared to the downturn in tourism and other world events like 9/11 and so on, right? And they said that the research indicated that none of those historic precedents came close to the shock of tourism of this pandemic. So tourism, unfortunately for now, it's flat, it's dead, there's no opportunity. You don't invest and market and advertise in an industry where there's no possibility of return on investment. But you pump $1 million and then say CPL go leave that? CPL so happy to find the most dotish leader out of 207 countries in the world. Nobody else in the world would have spent $1 million. Oh God, take a break, Archie, I can't take it. Oh God, Rowley. Oh God, Rowley.
Yeah, what? I don't care what nobody say. I'm going to say it and I want to say it. I don't want nobody to get vexed. It is the PNM.
Now is the time! Point up here! Mr. David Lee is here! The MP to point up here! He rich! Time for action! What time it is? What time it is? What time it is? David Lee show them action! What time it is? What time it is? What time it is? David Lee show them action! Now is the time for someone who care, a man who go treat everybody fair. Mr. David Lee down in point up here.
We come to the end of our walk, day 4 in Marabella. Again, we had a terrific support from my supporters and the people of Marabella and Gopoland. They came out to meet the UNC representative, myself, which is about progress and integrity and accountability. So thank you.
Son, 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 son. Now is the time. Vote for David Lee.
Back. We in Point Library with Victor Roberts, Uncle Victor Roberts for the United National Congress and all his supporters. All you make some noise, Library. UNC, Library, going yellow. Now, I went up loud to go down soft now. To some of you all who are very excited today, this sort of information may be a little tedious, but I think it is very important to give the population facts, information, important indices when thinking about who you're going to vote. So, I'm going to come down a little lower. We're going to talk a little intellectual kind of thing, but you know I just break down intellectual thing for everybody because me is so bright. For me to understand it, I have to break it down for myself. So Keith Christopher Rowley said that Kamala Prasad Bissessa is going to take Trinidad and Tobago to the IMF. Let me say at the outset, that is the biggest lie and nonsense in the history of Keith Christopher Rowley, and he has a colorful history of lies, untruths, innuendo, and stupidity. Now, let me first of all tell you, the IMF, when you borrow money from them, over the years, they've come up with a set of policy prescriptions. And the policy prescriptions that they tell you that you must do deal with austerity measures. That's a big word. Austerity measures is a big word for saying take everything from poor people. Don't help poor people. Cut down all your expenditure. Take away everything. Keep your money tight. That's what austerity measures mean. Now that comes from the philosophy of a neoliberalism, which means let the market correct itself. In other words, let the government come out. So when you hear people talking about wean yourself out the government, and for decades in Trinidad and Tobago, everything has been the government, and you must wean yourself off the government, they are thinking already in a certain way. Another prescription of the IMF is privatization, which means sell off your state assets, sell off your state agencies, but let private sector take over and run it, and let the people have to pay higher rates for services. So privatization. Now, you see the closure of Petrotrin. You see the sell-off and the attempt to sell of CLICO assets, which the CLICO policy holders have stated to call member the dueños do it, that they can buy back, they can pay back the money. They have the 7 point whatever billion to pay the government back and take back the assets. But Keith Christopher Rowley and Colm Dewitt Imbert are insisting on a fire sale and selling off assets of the country. Privatization is a prescription of the IMF. The IMF also says you must move towards a balanced budget. What's the best way to balance the budget? Raise taxes on citizens across the board and cut back on social expenditure, cut back on baby grant, cut back on laptops, cut back on school feeding, cut back on special needs grants, cut back on pensions, cut back. That's what the IMF says to do. The next prescription that occurs is a devaluation of your dollar as opposed to the stronger currencies, let's say the US dollar. Now, while there has not been an actual devaluation as yet, and our dollar is on a dirty float and maintained, what has actually happened because of Keith Christopher Rowley's foreign exchange crunch and his policies that limit the availability of US dollars? Many of you out there, many of you in library here know that when you go to the bank now to get US, you could hardly get. They're giving you $50, $100 at most. You cannot buy your goods from outside. If you're a business person, you're not getting credit. Your credit card limit, if you have US dollars, has gone down. This is all because of Rowley's prescriptions. Now, if you all notice, Rowley saying Kamala will take us to the IMF, right? But can you now see that Rowley already has us well down the IMF road with the prescriptions that they say? They also say that you must start to reorganize the country's debt. Rowley has tried to do that with Petrotrin from his Malcolm Jones debacle with the debt from the 13 billion mistake. Well, I say mistake, but you all know what it was. With Malcolm Jones that caused Petrotrin to have to pay 1.5 billion in loan financing per year. And Rowley's tell you that he had to shut down Petrotrin because it was 2 billion, making a loss of 2 billion. 1.5 billion of that still has to be paid and still has to be financed. But they are reorganizing the debt portfolio of the country. But Rowley's not even doing that. He's putting us further into debt because they are taxing and spending, borrowing and spending. The next prescription of the IMF is price control removal. So anywhere that government is helping or subsidizing prices, they must take it away and remove it. How many of you all know that your gas tank takes more to fill up now than when Kamala was there? That's because Rowley took away the fuel subsidy 4 times. He took away regular gas from fishermen who cannot go far to fish. That is price control removal. a prescription of the IMF. Do you know what could be next? If you all vote for Rowley, they already heard them signaling that our tea and tech bill is too low. It's subsidized. And former Minister Lahan said on 7 occasions, we in Trinidad and Tobago are irresponsible because our electricity bills are so low that we waste electricity. Signaling that they're going to remove the subsidy from the electricity and charge you higher rates. So if you want higher electricity rate, vote Rowley. Water. Under Ganga Singh and Kamla, 72% of the population was getting 24/7 supply. In Labre here you had more water under Kamla, now under Rowley. And these people, this Pumsite Rasta, only 22% of the population have 24/7 supply. Expect your water rates to go up. Do you know that our LNG, our LPG gas that we cook with is subsidized too? Expect that subsidy to go if you all vote red again. Do you know that Kamla Prasad Bisesa, I was in the cabinet on 4 occasions. Members of the Ministry of Finance came to her and said, ma'am, we must remove the fuel subsidy. And she said, no, none of that. That is for the people. The people benefit from that. That is the people sharing in the resources of Trinidad and Tobago. And Kamla will take us to the IMF. Rowley, you have we knocking on the door. Now, some of these things are called prior actions. So, the IMF would tell you, if you're thinking about coming to us and we're thinking about lending you money, there are prior actions that you have to prepare your economy for to make them happy. Those, fuel subsidy removal, balancing budget, those are prior actions, and Rowley has been doing those actions. So who you feel taking us to the IMF? Kamla? I don't think so. The IMF lending also includes conditionalities. So in fact, right, which is price controls, removal of subsidies, etc. Those are prior actions and conditionalities. So Rowley has prepared Trinidad and Tobago to head to the IMF in his next term. That's why, how come the IMF on his mind? I afraid nobody. And he called election ahead of time and then say, well, all you would have say, and disenfranchising, all you, nobody has said that. You still had 5 months or 6 months. We couldn't say that for 6 more months. You can't be disenfranchised till the election is late. The election early, you call it early. So what's going on with you? Now also, when the IMF got involved in countries such as West Africa, problems arose because of the prescriptions and the conditionalities. The governments in West Africa were forced to not invest in long-term health care for people. So they didn't pump money into their hospitals, their expansion, their health facilities, and so on. Their equipment, their dialysis machines, their CAT scans, MRIs. They did not, the IMF told them that is not good investment. You had to invest in short-term economic projects. So the entire health system in West Africa was damaged irreparably. In Europe, especially in Greece, the policies stifled growth in all the economies, causing the IMF in 2013, April 2013, November 2013, the IMF, after Greece economy collapsed, remember? They said, mea culpa, we are sorry, we read it wrong, our prescriptions were wrong, our business model was wrong, our economics was wrong, and therefore we stifled growth, leading to unemployment, leading to separation, leading to the collapse of the economy. They misread their information. They misread their indices. Just like somebody in 2018, think back to 2018, a certain person jumped up in Parliament and said, the worst is over. We are moving on a path of growth. We are booming, Madam Speaker. That clung misread the economy, and now we are on the doorstep of the IMF because of Keith Christopher Rowley. Kamala will remove us from that doorstep. She will take us 20 paces back, further away from the IMF as she possibly can. How will she do that? Kamala believes in the multiplier effect. Kamala will reduce taxes. Corporation taxes, individual income taxes, people's taxes will be lowered. What will that do? Businesses would have more cash to invest in increased productivity and efficiency. Therefore, increasing production, increasing output, creating jobs, and pushing the economy into growth. The growth. Okay. All right. Growth. I understand. Yes. She threw me up there, boy. That was original. The economy, when you cut taxes, people, business people, intelligent people, entrepreneurs will have cash now to invest. Manufacturers will invest in equipment and in people that can ramp up their production. That will create jobs. That will increase the tax take because more people having jobs, paying a lower rate, but with the overall total, the cumulative effect will be increased jobs. This will trickle down because when you create jobs at the manufacturing level, at the lower level, people have a higher IPS. They have a higher propensity to spend, to consume, a higher IPC, which is your propensity to spend money. When you put money into the hands of the rich people, they save, they hoard, they take away, there's capital flight. They hide their money away in case everything crash here, so them good and fire burn everybody else. When you create jobs at the working class level, people will consume, people will spend. When they get money, they will go and buy groceries. They will go to the hairdresser. They will go and buy manufactured goods. They will fix up their house. They will buy furniture. And that will start to spin in the economy, create more revenue, create more tax, take us away from Rowley's prescriptions of the IMF and take us into growth, prosperity, job creation under Kamala Persad-Bissessar. I'm sorry for boring you with all of this economic information, but it is very important when you know how to vote on August 10th. So don't let Rowley come and lie and tell you about Kamala IMF. Kamala say fire burn the IMF. We run in the other direction. Rowley is marching the country down the throat of the IMF prescriptions. He has not balanced the budget, but he has cut social programs. He cut school feeding, cut children life fund, cut textbooks, cut health, cut special needs grants, cut textbooks, cut sport, cut culture, cut PAN, cut health, can't even get medicine. That's to suffer the people, but that's an IMF prescription. While he continues to give money to those in the upper echelons to hoard and save, that money will not be re-injected into the economy. So Rowley is close to the IMF. If you make the mistake and vote for Rowley, the IMF will be on top of you along with Small Pin and the Duen. We coming back.
I love Rowley.
Vote for Lieutenant Colonel Aloy Hunt. Now is the time. Your vote is for Lieutenant. Put your X next to the rising sun. Vote for Lieutenant Colonel Aloy Hunt. What time it is? What time it is? What time it is? Colonel Hunt go show them action. What time it is? What time it is? What time it is? Colonel Hunt go show them action. His infrastructure and development, he go fix all the drains and all the pavement. To St. Joseph, he bring in more employment. Now is the time for action. New LMP for this constituency, helping old age and disability, bringing comfort to this community.
Now everybody come together as one, cause you know that the time has come. Election day when you stay in your hand. Vote Colonel Hunt and the rising sun, 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 sun.
Roberts, and welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. We have the next member of parliament for Labre, Uncle Victor Roberts here with us. Make some noise, make some noise. Victor Roberts. It is nice to be here in Labre. Talk to me. What are your plans? Why did you get into politics? Who is Victor Roberts? Tell the listeners out there.
Well, first of all, we want to welcome you to the constituency of Labre. We want to also say special good night to the Honorable Political Leader, Ms. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa, and the UNC family. All protocol observed. I will start by saying, who is Victor Roberts? Victor Roberts is a community activist, one who has fought many battles within this constituency against nepotism, injustice from the People's National Movement. Victor Roberts is a man that stands in the gap for the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden. And Victor Roberts will definitely be the next member of parliament for the constituency of Labre. I want to tell you, Brother Anil, that the constituency of Labre is one of the constituencies that the PNM punished the most. After 100 years of oil and gas in this constituency, and after a rule of the PNM for over 45 years, the constituency of Labre have absolutely nothing to show for it. The youths within the constituency of Labre, we and the UNC, we have brought a hope, a new hope for this constituency. Over the years, the constituency of Labre lived only on promises by the PNM. And today, this candidate is quite able to mobilize the youths of this constituency, directing and explaining to them about a new hope, a new vision for the constituency. Apart from looking after the basic necessity of the constituency of Labre, it is my intention to bring courses within the constituency that will empower the youths, to bring many different courses whereby the youths can now become viable for employment.
But let me ask you something, Victor Roberts. I remember being a minister and doing about 5 grounds down here in Labre, and then I also came down to see a MIC center opened under Kamla Prasad-Bisesa and David Lee, and a NESC center. What happened to those things? I mean, those are for training for youths, for get them into high-paying jobs. What about the MIC and the NESC center and thing down here that Kamla built?
Well, I want to answer you in this way. Keith Christopher Rowley had a plan for this constituency. And when you look at the plan that Keith Rowley have put in place for this constituency, he started by legalizing 30 grams. And after the 30 grams, he said that you could plant 4 trees. And why I have no problem with whosoever chooses to enjoy themselves in a particular way. What Keith Rowley has done is to close every institution that would have helped the youths to become viable for the marketplace.
What did he close?
He closed the NESC. He closed the MIC. He closed the youth centers. He closed the trade schools. He closed the carpenter shops. He closed, finally, he closed Petrotrain. That is the policy of Keith Christopher Rowley.
And therefore...
Wait. Don't, I'm not so bright. Take me through that. Wait. Let me see if I hear you correct. There was a MIC center here for training for young people to go and when they graduate get big money, work 15,000, 17,000, all kind of thing. Then there was a NESC skills training center for all kind of different training to get big money work, especially in the oil and the gas and so on. And then there was a youth center. What else? A trade school too. And Rowley shut off all of that. And it still have PNM, they have a few PNM here still, or they done with that?
Well, I believe after the walkabout today in Labre, I believe, a matter of fact, I met the councillor, and he shook my hand, squeezed my hand, and he wished me good luck.
He had on a yellow drawers.
So that is to tell you, and to tell Trinidad and Tobago, that the people in the constituency of Labre, they are no longer sleeping, one, and these people that wrongly believe have no sense. Come the 10th of August, they will prove to Keith Christopher Rowley that the constituency of Labre have smart collective persons.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. As we wish the former MP that he gets better health from 2010 to 2015, former school principal and so on, we know he has some problems with his lungs. We wish him a speedy recovery. But he was a school principal, the member of parliament for the PNM in 2010-2015. Yet, Uncle Victor Roberts, it gives me no pleasure to say this, but facts are facts, and I have to state the facts. That this constituency that you are going to represent from August 11, statistically, with our young people, is dead last in education, in results, in SEA, in CAPE, and in A-levels in the country. Dead last. What are you going to do to make sure my children in Labre don't have to hold that stigma anymore and move up the ladder until they are at the top of the academic ladder?
I am proposing throughout the constituency of Labre to first start with a homework center throughout the constituency. Throughout the constituency. I am also proposing...
Pause. Take me slow, I'm not too bright. Homework center. Do you have the teachers available to volunteer their time, or will you get to cabinet and get stipends for them to get them to teach and to do the extra work that is necessary to uplift my children of Labre? Will you do that?
Yes, and I want to tell you a little bit more.
Good, thanks.
There is, at this point in time, teachers, ex-teachers, ex-principals, who has already given me a commitment that with or without sniping, they are going to assist to move the children forward.
Make some noise for the teachers. Yes, that is what I like. For the teachers, and let me tell you something. Kamla Prasad, Mr. that you all may not understand, is a teacher. She was a teacher also. She lectured, a lecturer. And so what you are talking about is dear to her heart. Kamla Prasad Bisesa was also a former Minister of Education. The best Minister of Education ever. Tim Gopi Singh second, because we had basically two Ministers of Education when Kamla was the Prime Minister. So you are assured that when you win Labre, that you will have the air of a Prime Minister who agrees and understands that her children in Labre must finish last no more. This PNM red and last. Oh Lord, like when they like licks. How you could come last? I don't like to lose at all, you know. But when you have a problem, you must identify it and provide solutions. That's one. What's your next solution?
Just before I move on. Labre constituency, they are crying out for a compassionate leader, as Ms. Prasad Bisesa. When you see a prime minister could tell the country, plant 4 trees, tell the country, go with 30 grams, and leave all the learning institution closed, that Prime Minister needs to be voted out immediately. All the schools that Ms. Prasad Bisesa started construction in 2012, some of them were 90% completed.
Call some of them.
The Sipper Union Presbyterian School, 90%. The Chatham Government School, 85%. The Santa Flora Government School, which Nicole Oliveri, the ex-president Kamora, the alderman Christine Neptune, all of them went to the Santa Flora Government School, and yet within all of that, Keith Christopher Rowley chose to leave those schools unattended, in vain, and continue to allow the children to suffer. And for whatever reason, I don't know, whatever reason, instead of bringing the learning institutions to the forefront, he tell them plant 4 trees and carry 30 grams.
Hold on. But I read in an article printed in the Newsday. Judy Raymond here answer my question yet, but let me stay focused here. I read an article in the Newsday about 11 months ago, where the MTS had approved a 400 million loan from NCB Global Finance to complete schools. Are you telling me? Young and them again, small pin again, choking me. Are you telling me that it's since that 11 months and that celebration of that 400 million loan by MTS with Jackie Lazarus, Keith Rowley's former campaign manager, and from NCB Global Finance 400 million, that those 3 schools that were 85%, 90% and 83% complete have not been completed yet?
Not yet.
And they still have PNM, they have some PNM down here under the age of 50? Not no more. I mean, some about 50 who believe Dr. Williams still alive, well, I forgive them. But no child, you serious? Talk to me, Victor Roberts, and tell me in the first 90 days, as you sworn in as the Member of Parliament for Labre, under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, in the first 90 days, will work begin on those 3 schools to complete them for the people?
Not only those
4 schools, sorry.
Not only work will start on these schools, but we will move with immediate effect to have the NESC and the MIC back up and running in the first 90 days.
Well, let me tell you all this. I know how government is sometimes, and it's difficult at sometimes to get things done. But let me guarantee you all, there is a man who will be the next Member of Parliament for Pointe-à-Pierre, the Honorable David Lee. David Lee was the chairman of MIC when all those MIC centers were built, including Labre, Malabar, all across Trinidad and Tobago. So I can guarantee you that when you just whisper to him, boss, my MIC center, please, he is going to open that so fast because he was the man responsible for building it.
Correct.
Continue. Young people, right now also in Labre, unfortunately, all you don't get back to the douglAR, I have to give the statistic how it is. The truth is the truth. The unemployment rate between the ages of 18 to 32 stands before COVID at 30% in Labre. It is the highest unemployment rate among young people in the entire country. How are we going to create jobs, temporary, medium-term, and long-term sustainable jobs for our young people in the constituency of Labre?
First of all, we are going to tap into the natural resources within the community. I am also proposing to bring to the table the development of some of the beaches within the community.
Call out some of the beaches. Let Trinidad and Tobago know. Because let me tell you something. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't come down Labre now about 4 years. But when I went down by the police station there, The beach nice. I wanted to, I didn't bring a short pants, boy.
Nice Station Beach.
That is, what's that beach?
Station Beach.
Oh Lord, the beach nice. Call some other beaches because it is the best kept secret in Trinidad and Tobago.
So we're going at the Coffee, Station Beach, we're going at Carrot Shed, we're going at Palo Seco Settlement, we're going at Vesini, we're going at Losiro. There is well, it look as though like we got to develop all the beaches in the constituency.
But at Vesini Beach, there used to be a lady doing some sailing and so on, teaching children to sail. I remember when I was Minister of Sport, we donated about 20 of the little boats for her to do the sailing. Does that still go on? Does she still have equipment? Our young people being trained to be Olympic sailors still?
Well, that's shut down. But
it what?
It's shut down. But apart from that, Anil, we propose to have these beaches clean up and develop. This could also attract what we will call in-house tourism. It will also attract international tourism. We are going to create employment by way of sales within these same areas. We are also going to bring to the table courses, like we're going to bring back courses like home economics. We're going to bring back courses whereby people will learn to do the natural preserve industry. We're going to bring all those things back to the table in the short term, whereby people.
So you mean small crafts, small agro processing, and so on.
Right.
Now I like the develop the domestic tourism product more for me, because I think that is a critical area for two reasons. One, the COVID-19 and the new world order with tourism and the suppression of international tourism over the next 2 to 3 years, as well as the collapse of the sea bridge to Tobago. Under Kamala Prasad Bissessa in 2014, for example, there were, between July and August, 649,000 Trinidadians used to go domestic tourism to Tobago and spend at least $5,000 to $8,000 within that. Keith Rowley came, crashed the sea bridge, put the air bridge under pressure and shattered the Tobago economy, and that number dropped from 649,000 down to 152,000. Where, I'm sorry for Tobago, but where Keith Rowley suffered Tobago, I see an opportunity for Labre. Yeah. Because if these beaches are developed to the international standard, Trinis would come down here for long periods, especially in July, August, and spend that same $5,000 to $7,000 to enjoy themselves in Labre.
And not only in Labre, on the other side of the constituency. A matter of fact, Labre have some of the best beaches, but because of a lack of maintenance, these beaches deteriorated to the point where they are.
Will you allow young people to form companies and get contracts to maintain beaches, maintain equipment, maintain chairs?
There's where we come in. Because we personally, I have already spoken to, let me back up a little bit. The constituency of Labre have skilled and educated people. The constituency of Labre bring a volume of knowledge to this, to Trinidad and Tobago. I am also proposing to have small and micro contractors registered within the community. No longer Labre will be that a contractor come in and the people in the constituency just get some labor. We are going to ensure that the people in Labre qualify themselves in order where they will now be the contractors within the community. All the box drains and the pavement and the centers. We have a lot of skilled people here. We have people work on high-rise building all over this country. And to the end of the day, because of just the neglect by the politicians, these people continue to remain to the bottom of the table. And I realize it's a policy of the PNM to keep the people in the stronghold stifled, whereby they must depend on the government, the PNM government. So they use that strategy in order to keep these people to the bottom of the table, where they use them as voting machine. We are proposing to change that. The people in the constituency of Labre will take the rightful place in this Trinidad and Tobago. We are going to demand our fair share of the financial pie, and we intend to make Labre a model constituency, that the rest of Trinidad and Tobago could truly see Labre for what Labre is. We have natural resources here. We have the pitch lake, we have oil, we have a number of natural resources that we need to really tap into. There is some things I will share at another time, because I'm still working on all the information. But just to say, very soon, TOFCO will be no more in Labre. Very, very soon. Also the Mushibishi plan. Very, very soon, we might very well hear that the Mushibishi plan will not be open. There is some information that is before me that I'm verifying, whereby I understand it is alleged that the government, they have asked a certain company to hold legal action until after the election in respect to some things that is going on in Labre. But be that as it may, Labre people going to be recognized under my stewardship. Labre people going to form, we propose to form communities, serious communities, communities having input.
But when you're talking about communities, I know and I have seen the PNM in Labre treat community centers as if it's a PNM party group, and only them could use it, and only they could, and if you want to have a wedding, they don't go through that. When you become MP, because Kamla Prasad, Mr. says, serve the people. When I became MP of Dabadi O'Meara, it didn't matter who. I didn't care who is what party. The PNM is different. The PNM is disgusting in that aspect. They try to tell you that if to get a hamper, you have to be a PNM. How ridiculous. You are going to be the MP of the entire constituency, and you will be in charge of taking care of everybody, those who vote for you and those who didn't vote for you. Do you so agree, and will you swear by the Bible when you are swearing in to be the member of parliament to help all the people of Labre?
That I will do. I don't know if it's because you is Roberts and I is Roberts, like you reading me or I reading you, because communities that I'm speaking about, we are going to formulate community-based organization without any political interference. These communities will make recommendation as to the development. My job would be to make representation on behalf of the recommendation that these communities
When you become the MP, will you do like the PNM and tell your office manager to cut up some chits and make 25 numbers, and as soon as the citizen number 26 come in, you close the door and say, well, you're too late? Will you do that? Or will you do what Kamla Prasad Bisesa says about her MPs? Sit your tail down there and see every last citizen, no matter how late it take you. See all. Will you see all? Or will you do like call me, but number 26, goodbye, next week, you're late?
Labre, answer that question.
I hear all you. Who? You can see all. Okay, we wrap it up here, but something dear to my heart. Coming down here, I don't see space for about 250-meter pool. I see space for some AstroTurf hockey field. I see space for some indoor netball court. I see space for some cricket pitch and nets. I see space for track and field. Yeah, I said swimming pool are here. Listen now while you're sleeping. I said two. I see space for track and field. some of the greatest athletes in Trinidad and Tobago have come from this area. Call some for me. Some of the greatest footballers. Call them.
Victor Roberts. I was one of the goalkeepers that Leroy Span couldn't score on.
What?
I was one of the goalkeepers that Philbert Jones
couldn't score
on.
When he was playing for Petrochin.
I was one of the goalkeepers that put Fitzgerald Dick on the bench.
Fitzgerald Dick? I thought Fitzgerald went and get water.
But adding to what you were saying, Anil, in the constituency of Labrie, we are going to bring back culture to the forefront.
Labrie 19 games. Where did us play? Where did us practice? They have a place to practice. Raiders for where it is.
Under Victor Roberts, it would be refurbished. There is also Birds Calypso tents on that side of the constituency. And Birds Calypso tents also have a studio. And we intend that the same boy by the side of the road that spinny head and say no man, no rough, no man, no tough, no man, no bad, no man, every man in the Trinidad is a simple man. We're going to bring him in. We're going to bring them in the studio. And we are going to create these individuals into people that would become viable with their music, that they can make $1. We also going to go back to Calypso writing. There is a lot of people, and then you will amaze to know the talent that Labrie have that the PNM never harness. Under Victor Roberts, none will be left. We are going to move forward with every individual in the constituency of Labrie, creating jobs, creating space, creating whatever it takes to ensure that not some of Labrie go forward, but all of Labrie go forward.
On that note, we want to thank the next member of Parliament for Labrie, the Honorable Uncle Victor Roberts, the douglAR, Labrie. They're going yellow all the way. We're taking it on